Welcome back everybody to Motorsport Manager then. Just 2 races to go in this opening season in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. And we're still clinging on to that 5th place in Championship. We did drop from 4th to 5th last time, as Kirov went ahead of us. But in terms of that crucial 6th position, we are still 11 points clear. And I think it's fair to say MRT are going to have some kind of miracle if they're going to score 11. They're going to double their total that they've got in, 9 races in 2. So we should be okay, but we'll keep pushing and hopefully we can maybe pick up a point or 2. We could still get 5th. Technically we could still get 4th, but I think it's unlikely. But we keep pushing on anyway. I'm pretty sure this is really going to be the end in terms of parts development. We want to save any money we do get for next season, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the red till the end of the season anyway, unless we got some sponsors coming along. We'll have a couple of sponsors on the last race then, and I might even hold those slots. Might hold those slots till next season so that we get better sponsors when we bring in a better driver for marketability. So we'll keep scouting away. Did we just get a scouting report? We did on Costa. 49% marketability. Very good driver. Not really going to get any better. Pretty expensive. And he's got a contract for next year anyway. So, nope. He's not suitable. So, I think we know the 2 drivers it's between. Shame I can't remember, isn't it? Moreno was one of them. We did just scout someone who was a pretty good second option. Was it Nicanti? Nope. That was it. Mikhailovic. Pretty high marketability, but a really solid driver that could do a good job for us while we're waiting for... No. I'm getting confused with myself here. I will get there eventually. So the choice is between Munro and Moreno. Moreno is going to be a pretty good driver just for that interim period. Hopefully we'll be, he's getting towards the end of his career, so we could maybe get him quite a bit cheaper than he is. And of course that marketability is really going to help. Or Munro, he's got the potential but probably won't be very good to begin with. So they're the 2 choices. So do remember to remind me, Monroe or Munro are the 2 options. Sorry, Moreno and Munro. Right, one of those 2. Let's get kicking with this episode, shall we? Because I am just the ramblings of a madman. New vote has begun in terms of having 3 dry weather compounds for the teams to choose from. Oh yeah, I've been bribed in favour to vote, haven't I? And I do kind of want it to pass. I'm going to use all my power because I think that's going to be pretty useful. We can get some very different strategies by doing that. So, I didn't really need to use 3 in the end, but you never know, do you? Right, so we'll get 3 compounds of dry weather tyres for next year. That's going to be pretty useful in maybe adapting to different, throwing a completely different strategy in the works. And that could very well get us a couple of good results here or there. So I'm pretty happy that that's on board and passed. So we're still working on the 2 new suspension parts. Reliability of the brakes is up there. We're still improving the performance of those. Engine we're pretty happy with. Gearbox we could do maybe improving the reliability a little bit more, but we're still pushing that performance forward. I'm just wondering if we maybe switch these to the rear wings, because the rear wings are important for the next couple of races, which is why we brought in those 2 parts as early as we could. So I'll work on the performance of those 2 rear wings instead of the gearbox, and then hopefully that will bear a little bit of fruit. Oh, it's gone all the way to performance again. Stop doing this, game. For goodness sake. Right, let's continue. If you wonder why the episodes are a little bit quieter in the menus now. It's because I turned off the music quite a while ago. I never mentioned it, but just kept getting flagged for copyright. I don't really care about making any money off this, and I don't barely make any money anyway. But it's just annoying to have things flagged, because I never know what ads they'll show or how many of them when it gets claimed by someone. Right, we're nearly there. So I'm just looking for good performances, really, for the last couple of races. Just consistent performances from Eka, and hopefully Dreyfus can have a good last couple of races with the team, as she's been such an integral part of getting us to this championship in the first place. So it'd be nice for her to finish with a flourish. So we're ready to go then. We're going to go with Golden Tiger, just because this, look, 13th in the last 3 races. So 13th or above is definitely a good thing to aim for. I'd like to try and beat 13th this race, but we'll have to see. So I think we're going to wait one more race to put that suspension on. Just at this point, I'd like the cars to be reliable. So hopefully those 2 new suspension parts will be ready for next race. Other than that, it's going to be the same car we had last time out. Just a little bit improved performance and reliability. So I'm going to get practice done. It's looking like a dry weekend. Nice dry weekend. No complications there. I mean, I would kind of like a wet race at this point, just to see if we can maybe shock some points. But hey, I'll get practice done and I'll be back with you shortly for qualifying. Okay, we're into qualifying then. Practice all done. 96 for Eka, 97 for Dreyfus. A little bit of rain in the practice session. Again, you can never really predict with the weather predictions as to what, as to what the actual weather will do during the session. It will just show you a general outline. So if a session is going to have a tiny bit of rain in it, it will generally say that it's all dry. So you never know what's going to happen, as both our 2 drivers start their laps now. Again, we've taken a little bit off with weight stripping. 3 knocks down on the engine, a front wing here, a rear wing there. Just taking everything down to around about the 80% mark. Just to give us that little bit of extra performance. Again, we'll be looking to see if one of our drivers can maybe get 15th. 14th, 15th would be a good qualifying for either of our 2 drivers. And it's going to be Eka that comes across the line first to do a 22.0. Not a great lap. Dreyfus does a 22.3, so maybe it was an okay lap. Very surprised at the margin between the front and the back. That's a lot bigger than it's been in most qualifyings so far. We'll see if we improve next time round, of course. And John Tyre there in 10th is just ahead of us. Well, it's 2 seconds behind anyway, not just ahead of us. We're about half a second off, but not the best opening laps from our 2 drivers there. So we're going to hope we get a big improvement next time round. But it does look like we're falling even further away at the rear of the field. And I think this championship, more than the last championship, you need to be developing constantly. Because I think all the AI are very good at get better and better at development as you go up through the championships. So I think that's what's hurting us a bit, the fact we've had to start and stop the development every now and then. But we'll see if they can find a little bit more pace. But it's, we know it's going to be another tough race. It's all about just hanging on to that 6th place, which, to be honest, there's probably nothing we can do about that. We either will do it or we won't, depending on the AI's results. Because I don't think, unless some very strange circumstances happen, that we're going to be able to get any points between now and the end of the season. So, look, we'll see what we can do. See if our 2 drivers can improve a little bit. John Tyre's actually just gone 1.5 seconds slower, just improved by about half a second there. So maybe the track's going to rubber up a bit, and if we can get a good clean run, then maybe we can get a good lap in. Eka, thankfully, has that sweet spot perk now, so she's great on both her tyres in terms of warm-up and temperature on brakes and tyres even. So we'll see what she can do. 3 tenths down at the moment, 1.4 seconds down at the moment. And coming up to the line, she does 21.7. It's a small improvement, not a massive one. Dreyfus is going to do a 21.7 as well. So small improvements. We're a bit closer to the front than we we were on the first runs, but you can see that difference is still quite large between even the proper midfield and us. What you're talking about, 6-7 tenths of a second to most of them is a big gap to make up. But hopefully we can do that next year. We'll just get onto the race as quickly as possible, do the best job we can. A light bit of rain is going to be pretty interesting. So what tyres will we be starting on? So let's put intermediates on Eka and ultra softs on Dreyfus. So it looks like a very, very split grid. Haven't had this for a while. Both the AI is splitting between intermediates and dries. And I think we should probably do the same then. I'm going to put Eka on inters and we'll put Dreyfus on ultras. You never know with the rain. It looks like it's going to dry out pretty quickly, but just a couple of laps on dry tyres in wet conditions can lose you way more than a pit stop. So we'll see what happens anyway. So Dreyfus, I think we'll go race trim and engine expert, just so that we can push the engine a little bit harder. Will always help us out. So ultras are going to do between 8 to 10 laps, intermediates 13 to 15. So I think we'll cover both bases just in case it does start raining again. We'll put 15 laps on Eka. And then Dreyfus, we can probably get away with about 10 laps. Because if it dries out and she stays on the ultras, she's not going to be able to do more than 10 laps anyway. And if she has to change to intermediates because it continues raining, then we're going to be stopping earlier than that anyway. So starting pretty light for Dreyfus. So we're going to push and height. Just see what they can do at the race start. And then we'll probably go back down to normal pretty quickly because we really don't know how they get on in these conditions. But we're underway. And just to remind ourselves, Eka on the intermediates, Dreyfus on the dries then. And Eka's gone straight off at turn 1. Big mistake. Car seems to be levitating there for some reason. So that was a mistake. I don't think that was because of the tyres. I just think that was a mistake from Eka. So we'll see how quickly she catches up to John Sotir ahead, considering she is on dry tyres. Dreyfus has made a pretty good start otherwise than that. Up to 13th now. Up to 12th into the chicane. And at the moment, anyway, the intermediate's not working too well for people. It's a shame Eka made that mistake, really. Because if it's only a couple of laps where the intermediates are going to be the best tyres, she needs to be up there as soon as possible. But Dreyfus continuing our charge then, up to 10th. Oh, I think she's lost her front wing. No action taken. Yeah, we got a pit for a front wing now. So I think we're going to put the intermediate. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to put the intermediates on. I think she's going to be off them pretty quickly. It might just be enough to catch back up. I don't know what to do here. Let's try the intermediates. Let's try it. She's got nothing to lose really at this point. She's going to have to make an early stop anyway. So just topped up that fuel, put it on intermediates, and she can come in. Unfortunately, she's right at the beginning of the lap, so she's going to lose the maximum time possible around here. Real shame. She was up to 9th as well, and she was under investigation for dangerous driving or causing a collision. Just keeping an eye on her. At the moment, she seems to be kind of holding pace. She's starting to go backwards through the field now. I'm just wondering if she can hold on a couple of laps. Well, she's going to come in now, so there's not much we can do about it. Right, hopefully she gets a good pit stop. We'll keep an eye on that as Eka's finally caught the back of the pack on the intermediates and immediately starting to sieve her way through. Pit stop looks like it's gone well for Dreyfus. No mistakes, so she's back out and we'll get her to push straight out of the pits. I'm wondering if we get Eka just to attack and use a bit of engine wear, but this is her time. This is where she's a lot quicker than those on dries, and she needs to try and get through the pack if this strategy is going to work. So I'd expect for another lap or two the intermediates to be the quicker tyre. Dreyfus hopefully can make some of that ground back up. Problem is she's going to have to pit almost straight away. So I'm not sure how this will play out. I'll go up to 2 speed because it's been a little slow, but I wanted to make sure we make all the right decisions this early on. These are the kind of races we can make up a lot of positions if we get everything right. Eka up to 11th now and starting to come back through the field. We're going to go back to push and high. Now the tyres are up to temperature. Dreyfus has nearly caught the back of the field, to be fair, but I think it's going to be too late. There's an engine blowing there further back in the pack, so that's someone out. Hopefully one of our rivals for that 6th place. And Eka is nearly through the midfield now, so she's battling hard. But should take the 7th place, but now it's drying out. This is the thing. It's a strategy that might have worked early on in the race. It's not going to work at this point. Now that it's drying out, and we just can't get through the midfield. That's the problem. A lot of people have already stopped then, made their first stops. I don't know if that was people coming off intermediates or not. But we're going to have to go to dries. So we're going to have to pit Eka this lap. 26 laps to go. We might just get away with 2 stints on the super softs. Just in case we don't. Just in case we can, we'll put the super softs on. And then we can make that decision later in the race. We'll go up to 15 laps of fuel. So this puts us a little out of kink with everybody else. But we'll have much fresher tyres, so we should be able to undercut them. And we've nearly gone as far as those guys on the ultra softs are going to go anyway. Do we stack our cars? Because I think Dreyfus is losing out badly now. Do we think there's enough time between them? Nearly 10 seconds. Yeah, let's pit Dreyfus as well. I think one more lap and those intermediates are going to be useless. So we'll go on super softs as well. How long are we expecting? 11 to 13. Okay, we'll just put a couple of laps just in case. And hopefully these guys can get the stop done as quickly as possible. Go, 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 go. Ah, she's having to wait a little bit. Oh, there's a bad mistake. That's cost 6 seconds. And that's cost Dreyfus 6 as well. Ironically, Dreyfus gets a great stop, but that's really not helped out both our drivers there. And that's the problem with double stacking them. But we're out of sync of everybody now. We might be able to undercut a load of them if we get a shift on. So hopefully they stay out a couple of laps longer. And that way we'll get the maximum benefit of the undercut. Eka, unfortunately, has come out behind Rodriguez. She'd be ahead if we hadn't have had that mistake in the pit stops. Right, we're overheating the tyres a bit now that it is proper dry conditions. And we're just going to save the fuel in the engine at this point. And just go back to normal on everything. And just let the cars use whatever pace they've got in there. I don't think we're going to undercut anybody because of those mistakes. I think Eka might get one position. No. So 18th and 20th then after those stops have shaken out. And unfortunately, that little battle we were having with sort of 10th place backwards has just been rendered null and void because of those mistakes. You know, I don't know. There was advice a long time ago to go careful with the pit stops. Just, you know, it's worth losing those couple of seconds every time just to ensure that that kind of thing never happens. Might consider it, because our engineers are pretty good. So our engineers should... It's just a random thing that can happen, even with the best engineers, I'm sure. So I don't blame them too much. I don't think it's our engineers' fault, particularly. Just the RNG of the game, unfortunately. So we have picked up a couple of positions with Eka. Dreyfus has gone ahead of John Slattery as well. So 16th and 19th. And I think they're both going to pick up another position here as Tyler pits. So I think we pitted at the right time. Just unfortunately we had to stat the cars. And Dreyfus really, by putting those intermediates on, means that she hasn't really lost too much time by losing the front wing. So that's kind of worked out for the better. Now, the only worry I've got at the moment is that I think those, well, apart from those tyre temperatures being far too cold on both cars, let's go back to push, is that I think a lot of the AI only have to make one more stop. There's quite a few that will have to make it 3, I think. But quite a lot will be on a 2. I think we're definitely on a 3 now. I don't think these super softs will go the distance. 19 laps to go, so we need to go about another 5 or 6 laps on these tyres. So we'll see how they wear anyway. They're coming back up to temperature. Luckily it's not too hot. Oh, there's more rain. Hello. It's just a very small shower by the look of it. And it stopped again. Good job there was no knee-jerk reaction there, wasn't it? So Eka's pace is looking decent at the moment. Dreyfus is getting herself back into this race. And it's going to be all about whether we can do one more stop now or whether we have to do 2. If we have to do 2, we have to go now and we have to go on the ultras, I think. So I need to make that decision now, really. 38%, 41. I think we split them. Let's put Dreyfus on a... She's really not going to get much out of these ultra softs, is she? Let's do it anyway. We'll go ultra soft. We'll go 10 laps of fuel. Car looking okay. Do I want to just go safe just in case? Yeah, let's make sure we have no more mistakes. We'll put Dreyfus onto a 3-stop strategy. Well, it'll be a 4 for her. And then we'll see how much further Eka can go as to whether she can get away with just one more stop. A lot of people pitting now, so there are going to be a lot of people on the 3 stops here. No doubt about it. So hopefully Dreyfus can have a good pit stop. And she can get a move on now. Car looking okay as well, as we've now passed the halfway stage in the race. So we'll see what kind of speed she's got. I think Eka is going to have to do... Do we see if we can get another couple of laps out of them? I mean, they've only done 8 laps so far and they're almost dead already. Yeah, we're going to have to go free with both cars, I think. Okay. Oh, we didn't go safe. Oh, well. I'm sure it'll be okay. Can't happen twice in a row, can it? If it does, it's definitely our engineer. No, it's fine. And she's going to come back out just ahead of Dreyfus then. And she gets back out ahead of D'Ostra as well. So we'll push pretty high. Dreyfus overheating a little bit, so we'll go back to neutral. Car's looking good. To be fair, reliability seems to be good around this track. So hopefully we can push towards the end. It's going to be a battle of the 2 and 3 stoppers, I think, here. So is Eka going to get out ahead? No, she isn't. Of Mori. Just have to let this play out, really. We're not expecting much out of this race, let's be honest. So that 13th place we're targeting, just to get a bit of money in the bank, I guess, is the most useful. I don't think countback will be taken into consideration, but you never know, do you? So, guys pitting now might get to the end. Safety car. 14 laps to go. It's a real awkward time. The thing is, neither of them got anywhere near 14 laps out of the Super Softs. So I don't know that we'll be able to get to the end. We could... To be honest, we may as well pit Dreyfus. She's right at the back anyway. Although there are some guys pitting now. No, I'm going to leave them out. I don't think we can get to the end of it. No, we didn't get past anybody anyway. Made up a couple of... No, we're right at the back now, apart from Diostra. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? 13 laps to... Do we risk it? Let's split the strategies. Let's pit Dreyfus, put on the Super Softs and see if she can get to the end. If not, then we just have a quick stop at the end for Ultras. We'll know pretty soon whether we can make it to the end. She's going to be right at the back anyway. Hopefully she'll catch the field. But unfortunately, this is going to give a lot of people their get out of jail free card. In terms of them making their final stop under the safety car. A lot of those that are put on the Ultras, though, I don't know that they'll get to the end. We should be saving fuel 1 on neutral here. Those Ultra Softs. I don't understand. Just keep an eye on that tyre temperature of the Ultra Softs. See if... Because it doesn't seem to drop behind the safety car. Ever. Like, they would just fall off a cliff. Even if you go back to back up. The temperature just does not drop. And they would go through the floor if you were doing this pace behind the safety car. Not happy about that. Oh, now they're dropping. There we go. Right, let's go back to high and push for the restart. I'm actually going to go medium and push for Dreyfus. To actually no, high and neutral even, just to try and keep those tyres under control to try and get to the end. And we're back racing once again. Dreyfus has caught the back of the field, thankfully. Eka battling hard, but has lost a couple of positions. Everybody around her on fresh tyres. So we'll see how she gets on the next couple of laps. She's still got another 3 or 4 laps to do if she wants to get another set of Ultras till the end. So our only hope here is that other people have got to stop again for Eka. For Dreyfus, goodness me, they've just fallen through the floor again through temperature. Not really doing a good job of managing them if we want them to get to the end, like at all. Once again, those Ultra Softs getting too hot. Car and gearbox looking fine round here. Just not much progress being made from Eka, unfortunately. 9 laps to go. She needs to go a couple more laps and then stop again. Any rain on its way? Nope. No rain to save us. I don't know why we're destroying our tyres. Is it a choice we made at the beginning of the season that's buggered us up with the chassis? Because they just haven't lasted all year. Anywhere near what they should. I'm still hopeful Dreyfus can maybe get it over the line. It's only useful if people are pitting again, to be honest. Right, Eka is going to have to come in. So she's done 8 laps on those. There's 8 laps to go, so I'm fairly confident she'll get to the end again. So we'll put in a little bit more fuel. And then we can push hard to the end. Everything's holding up okay. We're going to go balanced just to minimise the time loss at this point. So I'm thinking some of the people on Ultras might have to stop again. Thing is, they're getting such longer tyre life than we are out of these tyres. It's half of what we're really struggling with. But it's our only hope for both cars now now that we're committed to these strategies. And if people don't stop again, we're going to be right down the back. If they do stop again, well, we might be in a chance of some points. Actually, no, it's top 6, isn't it? No, we won't be in chance of some points. But at least we can get our sponsor objective. So, back out comes Eka then. We're going to stay at neutral because we've only just been managing 8 laps out of the ultras. And the tyre temps are warming up pretty quickly. So, hopefully, she can get to the end on those. Right, we're going to go back to neutral. We're going to really try and manage Dreyfus's temperatures to try and get them to the end. Just looking ahead of us. Yeah, anybody on the super softs now will get to the end, and I think a lot of those ultras will. So, unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to pit. I think the AI are just outdoing us on tyre life. Oh, no, it's 3 cars in. That's 3 positions. Dreyfus up to 14th. They're going to be too far forward for Eka to get, I think. Can she get 1 car out the pits? Oh, it's going to be close. Can she go around the outside of the left-hander? She can't. But never mind. Let's push a little bit. She's got fuel to use. See if she can get them back. But a good chance that people are going to be pitting her here again. But Dreyfus's tyres are going to be gone at the end of the race. That's the problem I've got now. So she's up to 12th. But those tyres have got to do 3 more laps. Yeah, they're not going to go the distance. We just can't look after these tyres. It's impossible. I mean, what's she done? 9 laps so far. What should they do? 11 to 13. I think that's to 0% though. That's the problem. She passes another car who's got an issue. I mean, we're going to go for it. We're going to see if she can get to the end. But she's got 2 laps to go on 15% tyre life. She's going to struggle. And she's going to start losing time a lot towards the end of this lap and the whole of the final lap. But we've got to give it a go. I think I'm going to go to push just to try and lift those tyre temperatures up. We're going to go to overtake because she's got plenty of fuel, but she's already dropping back. Same with Eka, plenty of fuel. See if she can get herself a couple of positions. Dreyfus is already back to 16th. I mean, this is hopeless. I don't know why we're pitting her, but... is there any point? There's no point, really, is there? Just carry on to the end, girl. Just destroyed them. What happened, guys? We used to be so good on the strategy. We've got it spectacularly wrong many times this season. I don't quite know what I'm doing wrong. Well, just not reading the situation right, and our car is really bad on its tyres, which doesn't help at all. And the thing is, we're trying things we shouldn't. If we put Dreyfus in as Eka crosses... Actually, no, the leader is so far ahead. We've got another lap to do. We really should have pitted Dreyfus then. I forgot it was the lead that crossed. Oh, she really is limping round. Eka running out of tyres now because we're just not managing it. Do we think it's because we're managing it? Is it because our car is inherently bad at tyre wear? Or is it that that estimate is of, say, 11 to 13 laps for the super softs is purely down to 0%, and that we've got to take a couple of laps off that realistically? But I think it's the timings as well, this race in particular. As I say, if we decided to pit Dreyfus once more earlier on, she would have been up there fighting with them. But because we tried to hold on for so long, we just lost buckets and buckets of time. And then, yeah, you can see she limped across the line, 114 seconds behind. Again, devilishly tricky race. I was a little hopeful. Our pace is okay in the race. We're just making bad strategy calls. That's our problem at the moment. So, hopefully we can have a better final race. Dreyfus gets that drive-through penalty as well, which he had to take at some point, apparently. I missed that. That was for that incident early on then, so she did get that penalty. So it's 17th and 19th, but the most important question of the day, as our two drivers drop to 7th and 11th in the championship, is this. So MRT haven't scored, so there's still 11 points between us. We're still 3 points ahead of Ruiz. Kirov scored 2 points in that race, so now 3 points ahead of us. So I think 6th is safe. I think we've done the job. And we could even hold on to 5th here. Ruiz only scored 1 point that race, so they've got to score 3 next time out if they're going to displace us from 5th. So all in all, I think it's going to have been a good season. I mean, if you've watched the last 3 or 4 episodes, you would easily be fooled into thinking that it's been a disaster. But we had a really good start to the season. Well, we had a 1-2, our first ever race in this championship. That's as memorable as anything that's ever happened. If you've joined the season just now, go and watch the first race of this season. Not sure what episode that is. 10 episodes back from this, basically. Because that was an incredible start to the season. We continue losing money then, because of course we didn't get the sponsor objective. So we're in a pretty bad way in terms of finances. But we'll do what we can with the prize money at the end of the season. We'll keep pushing, and hopefully luck will be on our side, and we'll take that 5th position in the championship. And that'll be an extra couple of million, hopefully. So, yeah, it's tough. Next season should be better. We should make improvements in terms of our financing by changing out Dreyfus. Eka seems to be getting better and better. So hopefully, I'm really excited for next year to see what we can push forward from this. But join me next time out for the final race of Season 1 in the Asia Pacific Super Cup then. And as always, if you enjoy the video, do hit that like button. A lot of you still watching this and commenting on this, yet they're only getting 1 or 2 likes per video. It does mean a lot. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, it's interaction, it's YouTube rankings. I don't care about that. I just like to know, just a little bit of support to let me know that you are enjoying this series still. Because obviously we're fast approaching episode 60 now, which is incredible. And there's still 20 or 30 of you that watch every episode, which I love. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again very soon.